Good morning. Welcome to a real kind of car review, but not a car review. This is a 2021 Subaru Crosstrek limited edition, and it is in the khaki blue color. So this is going to be something that's not really, hey, I reviewed this car and kind of drove it. I literally went out and bought this car 8 days ago. So it's just kind of giving an overview of what it's like to actually have this. And one thing I did, which you'll notice as soon as you go into the sun, is I bought the dealership spec version Overland, and the reason being is that when I was gonna pick this car out, I was going to actually put the tires and stuff on here, but I figured a dealership does it doesn't void the warranty on the suspension system or anything like that, which to me was big since it's going to be a brand new car. So I had them do the system on there. So it does have the ready fit 2-inch lift with KO2 225 65 17s with Rhino rims. So the rims basically are $1,000 for the rims. The tires, you can get them from around $210 a piece. So, and then the lift kit itself is $400. So basically, to have a dealership do this, you could buy this stuff and do it for yourself. Like, I think it's like right around roughly $2,200 to $2,300. I spent $4,800 to have a dealership do it. And again, that's kind of expensive, but the problem is, or the thing I look at it is that with something being that price, it's now covered by the dealership. So if anything happens to the actual system, it's covered. So again, this is a Crosstrek limited edition with a 2-inch lift, KO2 tires that are 17s. And so I moved this car from a Honda Civic Sport Edition to the Subaru. I also own a Acura MDX 2021 also. So the difference I'm going to be able to tell you is what this is like driving compared to an MDX, which I do have. So this more line reminds me of how it is to drive a car, but at least you have the ability to be lifted up a little bit, and it's pretty darn nice. It's not that loud. I know people say, oh, having the larger tires makes these things loud. It's not really that loud. As for the ability to hold stuff, I mean, it's basically a hatchback that's lifted. It does have the 2.5 liter 183 horsepower engine, so it works out pretty well. Because I bought the Overland package for this thing, the dealership did throw in they're kind of like Rhino lining mat for the front, the back, inside for the back seats, and also for the front seats too. So they did a really cool job with it. This is a fully loaded one, the limited, so it works out pretty well, at least for me. The color, I don't like blue, but for some reason this one stuck out when I saw it inside the dealership against the other ones, so I did get it. It's pretty cool. I do have the roof rack and systems are coming in. For some reason the Yokohamas have been all sold out. I don't know why, so that stuff is coming in. I'm also going to be doing a trailer hitch on here that'll be on the bottom. Driving the car is actually really decent. For it being only 183 horsepower, I thought it was going to be a little bit more laggy, but surprisingly it's not. And we can end up doing, you know, something on the system, I don't know, turbocharge it at one point in time. We'll just decide on what I want to do with it. It is the fully loaded. It has the Android Audio with the 8-inch screen. So the 8-inch screen, it's pretty decent. For, you know, you just use the navigation that's on the actual on your phone and stuff like that, so it works out pretty decently. It has a lot of hookups. It is kind of wonky when you're hooking up the Android Auto. It likes particular types of cabling, which I found kind of funny. I had pretty expensive ones and it wouldn't let the Android Auto work. I hooked in one that came with one of my phones, and it just immediately worked, which I thought was kind of funny because the stuff that came with the phones was not as good as the one I bought extra. I don't know. So I'll go ahead and... This again is the 2.5 liter 180 horsepower engine. It works great. I mean, as you can see, the car is really clean. It only has I think 190 miles. So I haven't really driven it that much. I am going to be doing it more. Again, taking it off-road and stuff like that to kind of see how it goes. It was really a toss-up between this, a Wrangler, and an Outback. And the reason why I didn't get the Outback, and I was looking at the Outback Onyx XT, which has the 260 horsepower turbo engine. And the reason why I didn't get it was because the length of the Outback, crazy enough, is 198 inches, and this is 181 inches, I think it was. And I didn't like how long the Outback looked inside of my garage, so it's just something that was like, okay, I'm not gonna sit there with something that's so long that it just goes to the edge. And that was the deciding factor basically between this and the Outback. Was basically this was shorter, so that's how I ended up picking it. And I just didn't want to have something that was going to be, you know, right to the edge of my washer and dryer. That's basically it. That's my bike. So that's the only reason why I did pick this thing over top the Outback. When it comes to the interior, I mean, it's what you would expect. Pretty easy to use. I mean, very, very intuitive. I like how it has this screen that's in the middle that actually lets you see the degrees and angles that you're at. It's actually pretty cool. Everything that's in here is done very well. I mean, the steering wheel's done very well compared to my MDX. You can't ask for anything else that's not in here, really. The only biggest difference between the MDX and this is that this guy has what's known as the heated seats. My MDX has both heated and air conditioning seats. That's about really it. Other than that, HomeLink was easy to set up. It does have the moonroof or sunroof, whatever you want to call it. It has ample storage. I wish this pocket here was a little bit bigger to hold these larger phones, because, you know, in reality, the Note, this is the Note 10 Plus, and it's kind of wonky and big for inside here. That's basically it. So I don't know if I'm going to end up doing something to have it kind of off to the side or whatnot. There is nice storage in the back. Dealership gave me, I don't know, some masks for my kid. She has a lot of room in the back too. It is leather. I'm not really a big keen fan of the leather, but this one's pretty cool because it has orange accents that are inside of the leather itself. So I find that actually pretty neat, pretty interesting. And it has the orange stitching around there, which if they still had the orange car, I would have had it. The faux carbon fiber. Again, I got this with, I think, almost every single option. I didn't really get the pick. It was at the dealership with all that set up in there. So, but I believe it came with just about every single thing that was in it that you can get, except for like little tiny added options, like it didn't have the roof rack because they just didn't have any. My guess is if they did have access to the roof racks, it definitely would have had them. The systems itself, how it works, are perfectly fine. I mean, they're really good. Basically, my phone, since I downloaded the Subaru app, as soon as I get into my car, it just pops on. So I found that actually pretty cool, how it works. And then you just basically plug in your phone, and then it automatically switches over. So hey, if reggae starts playing, it starts playing. And then this will, you know, the screen will automatically go to Android Auto once it kicks in. Boom, there it goes. The Android Auto is pretty darn good. I mean, Google Maps pops up. I don't like how it pulls up, you know, the last places you're at. So you see, I was at my dog's holistic vet in Wells Fargo, but basically it shows a pretty decent looking map. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed by how it goes. It still has a CD player, which I found that kind of interesting. So I'm gonna have to go and dig out some CDs and see how well it works. AC Auto is really good. Windows, all this other stuff. This one has what's called the EyeSight. So it has a driving system that basically helps your braking and stopping distances. When you're driving in between lanes, it'll kind of do like a beeping at you and stuff. So it does have that. Everything else, it just reminds you exactly how a SUV would be. Where's the mask? It does have a lot of connections. So it has 2 USBs down here, and then it has 2 USBs inside of this part right here. But I think those are just powered. It does have a cigarette adapter lighter power there, and it does have a cigarette adapter powered lighter in there. Although it's not really set up for smoking or cigarette adapters. It does hold the large water bottles, which to me is huge, because I think that's awesome. So it has it inside of both the pockets in the back, or in the front seats, and then also in the back seat it has the large pockets too that are there. AC works good, trip set. It does take a second for it to realize what where the adaptions are for the types of screens you're going to use. I did take a minute to try to figure that out, and it's pretty decent on gas mileage so far. Again, I live in Los Angeles, so my city driving right now is at 17.5, and that's going around, you know, again, LA. So far, it looks like I'm gonna get roughly, oh, I have 158 miles. 158 miles on the clock. Yeah, so 170 miles to go. So we're looking at about like 310 miles. And basically with these tires, I'm losing 10% efficiency. Again, because it's a larger tire and stuff like that. So yeah, other than that, it works pretty well. I'm gonna bang out of the way so this person can go. And we will pause. Now we can see, like, in the car, it's pretty decent. The seating's pretty good. Again, leather seats, not really my favorite, not really wanted leather. The backup camera is really decent, and it has a adjustable system that shows you which way you turn left, right, when you have the green, orange, yellow, red zones. The camera doesn't quite face straight down, so you got about, from when I park in my garage and see, it's roughly, it seems about 8 inches of distance. So I'm actually, from my garage door right here, I'm about 8 inches away from it when you actually look at it. So if you look at where the line is inside the system, it shows I'm right at where my garage door falls down. But then when you go outside, you'll see, yeah, I'm roughly 8 inches. So it's a little bit of an angle difference. I think the camera's right underneath here, so basically it's like pointing right this way instead of kind of down. My RDX, that thing is like straight down almost, so when you see it, it basically lets you know that, hey, your line is right there. That's why I had tape on my garage floor, because when my wife backs up, she'll immediately see the tape. She knows she stops right there, because our 2017 RDX that she had, she let the garage door hit it, and it yeah, it kind of messed it up. But other than that, it does not, unlike the Outback, its system here doesn't have, let me turn you off, unlock you. So the Outback, one of the benefits is that it has the door that stops. So with this bad boy here, it's gonna go up a little bit too high, so I have tape and stuff to put up inside here. Since they gave me all the Rhino type mats, the Subaru rubber mats, which basically, if you look at it, that is almost $320 in mats they gave me, because they did the Overland setup on this thing. So they did give me some free mats, which means I do have the floor mats that are for the front here and in the middle or the back seat. I just gotta take them out and throw them inside my house because I have nothing to do with them. It has ample storage. It does have a full-size spare, which is actually pretty cool and pretty good. It does have this system here, again, like all SUVs, they have that, and it covers the ability to, you know, whatever you have back here. It has, I want to say, a little bit more room than my Civic Sport hatchback had, and that thing actually had a lot of room. But with this thing is, I think my Civic Sport hatchback was 176 inches long. This guy, again, 181, so it's got a few inches on there, almost 6 inches. So it does have more room when the seats are down. I did notice that. When you put in the car seat, though, you have to turn this headrest backwards if the car seat's on this side, and I'm guessing this headrest backwards also when the car seat's on that side, just because the contour of the headrest itself makes it so that the car seat won't go fully back. I'm gonna guess it also depends on the car seat you have. I have Recaros, which you cannot buy in America anymore. I don't know why. And they're ridiculously expensive, so I refuse to get rid of them. That car seat right now, if you're to find it, is like $800. So it's kind of crazy. But hey, I got recaro seats inside my car. It does have the middle seatbelt, which I find is really funny. It's on this side, and then it goes through that little loop, and it goes in the center. So unlike other cars that have a middle seatbelt in the center section, this does not. It has an actual lap belt that goes on the side. This is a, I believe, 5-star crash rated car. It has extremely good safety ratings. Because it is higher, it doesn't, I'm guessing the rollover points can be a little bit different, but it's really decent with how it moves. So it's really, really good. The Rockport, you can't really tell. The Rockport pieces that are sorry, rock lift or whatever it's called, the 2-inch lift is right up here, and it's a body lift. So it goes from the bottom of the body and lifts the entire body up. So that's actually pretty cool. Other than that, it doesn't have the limited badge, so you don't know that this is a limited actual car, and I like that, because then people don't really know that you have the upper version. And then from there, a temporary license plate. Again, the car is 8 days old. 153 miles are on it. So I do have the Overland badge. It's coming for this section right here, and there's things are going to be changing. So we're going to have the roof rack system that's coming on here. I might change this out. They have a nice wing version that comes up a little bit, just because I like how they do that with the Impreza. And since this is basically an Impreza just lifted, I might have this thing changed out. So I think that would actually be pretty cool. Other than that, the color's grown on me. The khaki one is different. You don't see that many of them, and I don't know if it's because people don't like it. They think it's too blue, but I actually think it's a pretty darn cool thing to get. Other than that, the driving of this car is really, really, really good. It drives really well, handles extremely good. It doesn't feel like a truck. Road noise isn't that bad. You can't really see the eyesight stuff because it's too dark now inside my garage, but the handling is really good. It rides really well. I haven't taken it off road yet. Again, as you can see, we're gonna go out, we'll go check out the different sites that are around LA, probably in North and Santa Barbara later this year, and we'll see how it goes. But other than that, it seems to be doing really, really decent. Again, most people will balk at 17 miles per gallon because of this thing is rated for, I think, like 24-33. But in reality, we live in LA. Most of the cars that I've owned, I mean, got between 17 and 20 miles a gallon. My Audi that I had only got 15.5. So hey, it's getting more than my Audi. That's all that matters. Other than that, the car is really, really decent. I'm not a car reviewer, just wanted to kind of give an idea of what it's like to actually own a Crosstrek that's brand new, hasn't been driven anymore. Basically have a week review of it, and it runs great. I don't have the old Crosstrek to realize, okay, is the power better than the old one? I don't know. I only have this one. And other people said the power of the other one, which was 152 horsepower, didn't have enough for it. Again, this one's 183. It feels like it's pretty decent. My wife said that it feels faster than the MDX, but I can tell you no, because the MDX has a 260 horsepower engine. This does not. She just isn't realizing the differences between the engines, which that's fine. It doesn't make a difference. She actually likes this a lot more, and she was talking about possibly her next car would be the Forester, because she ended up liking how the interior of this was. Again, this is a lady who went from Lexuses to Audis, Cadillacs, and I got her into the Acura. She's had the Acura twice now, and she loves it, but when she got in this car, she was like, oh, this is really surprising. Leather, again, I'm not a fan of leather. I would like to have that that special Subaru Tecna stuff that they have, but in the limited edition they don't have that, and they didn't have any sports in this color with the Overland setup already. So that's the biggest thing. And again, people will flip out being like, how come you didn't put on this stuff yourself? Because the drivetrain is warranted if the dealership does it. Yes, you spend this setup here, which really you could do yourself for about 2,500 bucks. Cost me $4,800 to have a dealership do it, you know? And that is something that I can say is 100%, hair tie, 100% on point of what I would want, because the drivetrain, if anything happens with it, it's covered by the dealership. So, and that's something big. And I do know when you do the Overland setup, you do have to remove some things. So there's like guards that go on this side that come off. There's flaps they have to move on this side. And there's something else with the interior. But other than that, you can pretty much almost buy the rims and tires and do this yourself without raising the car, but your turning, your wheel turning will be a little bit different. You know, you won't be able to just cut it as hard as you could, because it will then, I think it scrapes inside of this section here. So, and again, they also have a 1.5 inch lift and a 1 inch lift for this that will make it so that you don't have to go through those processes. But I particularly wanted the whole 2 inch lift. The next things I'm doing to this guy is I'll be replacing the shocks and the strut setup with, I believe it's Fox. So these will be redone with Fox setup, and doing the light bars. So I'm getting the lights for this thing. So it's gonna look like the Overland, you know, how it should be with the whole setup. That's about it. So that is a Subaru Crosstrek limited edition with the beginnings of an Overland setup. And basically, this sits as high as my wife's RDX or MDX, whatever she's got. So it sits as high as it. The tires are the same size, except for she has 20-inch rims on her car. Mine has 17s. Which at first I thought they were 15s, but no, these are 17s. So that's why these KO2s are $210 and not the $156. So there's a difference in that. So the normal KO2s are $156 that you can get, and these ones, $210 is what I found them for the lowest amount, which, I mean, they're 50,000 mile rated tires, so that's pretty darn good in my eyes. If you look at my Audi, each tire was $400, I think it was. They were P0 Scorpions on my QS5. So yeah, I can't complain again with the tires. The Audi, it was ridiculous expensive. My Lexus was also $425 a tire. So yeah, they were, I think there were P0s also. So I'm not going to complain about how the tires are. Rims, I probably would have picked different rims if I was doing it myself, either a real two-piece or whatnot, but these don't look half bad. When I saw the name Rhino, I was like, oh, I thought they were going to be those one of the cheap ones that were like $98, but when I saw them for $246 to $268, depending on the site you looked at and got them from. So, you know, for $1,000 for a set of rims, awesome. My Lexus's set of rims were $3,700. So, again, can't complain. Very, very surprised at how Subaru works, how it is, the pricing of it. In all, this is a $31,000 car if you $32,000 car if you don't get, you know, the start of the package. Because of the package, with tax, everything, this bad boy topped out at exactly $41,000. So yes, it is in the same exact price range as the Outback, just because of what I had done to it. So it's gonna make a difference there. But Subaru also has great purchasing specials. This is the first car I've never leased. Most of my cars are leased. This is the first one I bought, because I plan on building it out and giving it to my daughter. So yeah, so I bought it, and Subaru's got this thing where if you pay off the car early, you don't get penalized. So I was like, okay, cool. I just made it so I can make sure that the payments were below 500, so it's at 490 bucks a month for a 5-year loan. But I'm going to be putting, you know, more down to it, so it's actually paid off before the 5 years is up. And it's at 2.1%, because the 1.9 that they had for September was only if you did 4-year below, and I didn't want to make this a $600 a month car. And that was the only reason why I didn't do it. Is because, not because I can't do $600 a month, I just didn't feel like having a $600 a month payment on the car. That was just basically it. So I figured doing it for 490, putting enough down to make it down to 490 is perfectly fine for me. I was, you know, I feel comfortable with how COVID and everything's going. You just want to make sure. But that's about it. This car is, you know, what you would expect. And again, it drives really, really nice, considering it is a off-roading car. You know, it is great. So that's it on this bad boy. I guess I'll take video of it driving, let you guys see it there. But yeah, that is the 2021 Crosstrek limited edition with the beginning of the Overland package. Awesome. Thanks, guys and gals. So this is the recording, this is the driving of the car, and I mean, there's a little bit of tire noise that you can tell. It's not really that bad. It's not, I mean, compared to the RDX my wife's got, it is louder, but again, the tires are different. But for the car itself, it's not really bothersome. It doesn't sound bad at all. It sounds pretty good. So it's not really that bad. It is, you know, it is louder than the standard tires, but again, on at least my setup, I've never heard this thing with standard tires, so it's kind of hard for me to say, is it, you know, terribly louder or anything, but I don't know. Doesn't sound bad. I know some people I've heard on videos complain that oh, it's so loud, it doesn't make, you know, it's too loud, I don't like the way it sounds because of the way the tires are. Someone even said they should get a different type of all-terrain, you know, tires, because they'll work better with this type of car because of the weight. I don't know, I don't notice that big of a difference. To me, it just feels like they are, I don't know, all-terrain tires. It drives pretty much like a car though, so that's a big thing, is that there's no, I don't know, I don't feel a lot of truckiness, if that makes any sense. So yeah, it doesn't have a lot of truck feeling, so it still feels a lot like a car, like you would expect an Impreza. It just sits up a little bit higher. Roll, I don't know, it doesn't feel like it's that bad with rolling. But I'm pretty sure like higher speeds on a turn, it'll probably feel a lot worse. I mean, right now we're cruising at 45 miles an hour, and it feels pretty normal. I mean, it seems pretty quiet. You do hear the road noise, I'm not gonna, you know, say you don't, but is it annoying when you have no radio on? No. It just sounds like a hum. And when the radio's on, you're not really going to notice that, from what I've seen so far. Other than that, it is a pretty decent, quiet drive. It's really smooth. It doesn't have a crazy ton of pickup, but, you know, it is what it is on that side. So, cruising around, again, 50 miles an hour. Not really that bad. Can't really hear that much. Seems normal. Slow car. Pickup again is like, you know, pretty decent once it starts moving. But it is a small SUV, so it's not expecting it to be like crazy speedy. You know, it is a car. It gets you from point A to point B, and it has enough room to hold stuff from Costco, the market, or anywhere. So yeah, it is a normal car. It drives normally. It feels normal. Is it luxurious? No, I mean, the Acura's got more bells and whistles to it, but in reality, I mean, unless you're here in LA and you drive downtown every day, and you're in your car for over an hour one way, then I guess you know, get something more fitting. But for, I don't know, it feels normal. It feels like a damn car, so it doesn't feel wrong at all. I don't have the eyesight turned on, so it would have braked me as I approached this car, but yeah, so. Stop and go, I got 150 miles. So right now I'm at 313 miles per tank, it's saying. So, and I'm guessing with non-San Fernando Valley driving, non-LA city driving, this would be, I'm guessing, around 340. It feels like it'd be. I don't know how many gallon tank it has though, so that's something I gotta check out. But no, I mean, it feels like a normal car. So that concludes this thing. Yeah, that'd be it. Peace.